A couple of years ago, I held up a jar of tomato sauce asking you what you thought about the idea that Sagrada manages to sneak in a theme into an abstract game, much like you sneak in vegetables into spaghetti. Today though, tiki masala, a little bit spicier, got a lot more heat to it. Does adding something to the game make it better? Because today we're talking about Sagrada Passions, the newest expansion. It's a small little box, but it packs quite a lot of twist, a lot of punch. We're going to take a look today at what Sagrada Passion does. It's one of the first of the great facades, one of 3 expansions for Sagrada, dice placing game. Does it add enough to make this a must-buy expansion, a must-play expansion, or is it one of those things you go, maybe I'll have that when I'm in the mood for some heat, or maybe I'll have that when I'm in the mood for this, or is it a must-play? Let's take a look at what comes in this expansion right now. Is it worth you getting your hands on? And we'll come back up and talk about it right now. So there's actually not a ton of things to go over in this expansion. Again, small box, comes with a few things. Let's take a look right now what comes in here, the major changes, including the cards and the rare glass windows right now. First and foremost, there's these rare glass, which are, they're kind of clear, kind of white. These are basically any color you want them to be. You will roll them and sit them in these rare glass windows here. Now, these are things that do different things. So this one says when you choose this, you use it like a tool. Move a die in your window, then place this die in that previous location. Obey all placement restrictions, right? So same kind of things here. This one is before placing this die in your window, roll a random die from the bag. If its value matches this die, set this die to any value, return the random die to the bag. So just a lot of things that kind of tweak it. They're basically better tools because they come with these rare glass die. And I really like that. Let's take a look at what else comes with this right now. You get quite a few of these here that do different things, but let's take a look at the cards, what they do themselves right now. The other kind of major selling point here are these 2 things. You get these things called inspiration cards here, which have these green backs, and then you get more secret and more public scoring objectives. And these 2 things are, to me, the best part. So first of all, let's look at the inspiration cards. These are cards that you're going to get at the beginning of your turn, or the beginning of the game, sorry. This kind of stays with you the whole time. So it might be a power. So this is inspiration wisdom. At the beginning of the game, lose 1 favor token. Once per round, using a tool only costs you 1 favor token. So it's just a special player power that benefits you. This one is once per round after drafting. I can't read. Once per round after drafting, you may spend 1 favor token to swap the drafted die for a die on the round track. So that's the one I have. This one is once per round, you may re-roll a drafted die. If you can't place the die, return it to where it came from. So all kinds of little perks that make your game special the way you're going to play it, because it gives you your own player power. New public scoring objectives. So these are the private scoring objectives. So this would be the sum, and they all have to do with the rare glass, sum of all the pips per color, so 1 color each, surrounding your rare glass die. The one I had was basically, it was all of the glass in the same row as the rare die, all the pips associated with it, so minus the glass. Well, actually this one says including the rare glass. So all kinds of little player power, all kinds of secret objectives that really play off those rare glass die. And then new public objectives. These are interesting because they're all symmetrical based. So it's all things like sets of 2s and 3, or sets of mirrored numbers across the horizontal vertical here, or horizontal vertex, whatever you want to say, in the middle there. So a 5 here and a 5 here, a 2 here and a 2 here. You score points based on how many of these pairs you're able to make across this vertical line. There's also ones that are horizontal here, having the same symbols in the top half as you do in the bottom half in the same place. Same here, this one's colors, this one's colors. This one's a new one too, this one's really neat. It's diagonal pairs like this, where you have blue, blue, red, red, or yellow, yellow, purple, purple in these nice little box sets. So those are cool. This is diagonals of the same color. Each one's worth that many points per diagonal in the set. So really cool new additional stuff in this set. So that's Sagrada Passion. I am a big fan of this expansion, mainly for 2 things really. I love the fact that there's new gold cards. New gold cards are always a thing for me that I love, because it's what makes Sagrada so good in the first place. If you watch my Sagrada Via Azul video, which you probably saw on this channel here on the Dice Tower, you saw that one of the things I loved about Sagrada was the fact that it gave you the opportunity to have multiple replay value because of the different scoring cards. Now, you might have a game that scores very high, then you might have a game that scores very low, but you still win in both of those simply because of the public scoring objectives. I love any time there are new public scoring objectives that challenge your brain to do different things with your glass. One of the things that this one does is it does those symmetrical ones, so dice here and here, here and here, across the board vertically or horizontally, right? So I like the way that that's done. Yes, I'm aware that was backwards, but what I meant was it split it vertical or horizontal. Anyway, I like the fact that there's new public goals. I love those personal powers that you get. That to me is a really cool idea, that you get a power that you can do to tweak your game and make yours even more special. That's a really big win for me as well. But last but not least is kind of the main thing about this is that rare glass, right? This shared rare glass in the middle. I like this because it really alleviates some of the pain sometimes of trying to get that card or that die you need of a certain color out there. So to me, this is a huge win. Now, is it a must play? I think so for the cards alone, whether the player powers alone. I think you always play with those player powers, the inspiration cards, because it just adds enough of a twist, enough of a spice, if you will, that you're going to want to use it every time. Now, as far as the rare glass, maybe it's not something you play with every single time. I probably will from this point on, because some of the tool cards do the same thing. This adds the idea of a tool and a rare glass. So I would say it's definitely a must buy if you love Sagrada. You go ahead and get this added in. It's a fantastic. I like this better than the things that came in the 5 to 6 player expansion. But this is Sagrada Passion, first of the Great Facades. Go get it. Go check it out. It's a fantastic game already, but this adds just enough spice, just enough flavor to kick your meal up or your game up a notch. I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Dice Tower Brian, Instagram at Dice Tower Brian. And until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas, for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.